discuss the changes, the change really, and spend the rest of my time laying out some of the things that are likely to happen for this next year and even for the year beyond. So you've seen this table every year at about this time, and a lot of times there's 6 or 7 lines, things that have changed since we amended back in December until now. This time there is only one, and this assumes that HB 2264 passes, which is likely to do. That gives us back the money that we reported when we adopted M&O monies that would be set aside and mailed to the state. That represents the savings from the district only paying 47% of the retirement liability. So they are giving us that money back, and that's the money that we will use to refund to staff who paid 53%. And that's it, so we were pretty accurate this time around. Capital budgets have been decreased a little bit, and that is simply the final adjustment to the cut that we were given at the beginning of the year. So our reduction was to match somehow with the state's cash flow. And so we used an estimate when we adopted. That's now finalized, and there's the rest of it. So that's it really for changes to our current year budget. Do y'all have any questions? So here's what it looks like is coming out of the budget bill now. That in theory is to pass any time now. There is new monies in M&O to support Move On and Reading. And this information is all as presented to us by Chuck Essex and Diane Smith. But the change to the Group B weight, or actually a new Group B weight called K3 Reading, the weighting is in there, and it looks like it'll be about $350,000 to grade next year if it passes in its current form. Those monies are only to be used for K3 reading. There will be some additional reporting that goes along, submitting a plan to the State Board of Education, and then there's an extra provision for schools with the letter grade of C, D, F, or have 10% or more of third graders that is far below, has to get State Board approval for their plan. That's what we know about.
Mr. Walker, a couple questions on this. Ideally, all the lessons we have go toward increasing literacy. So when you say can be used for K3 reading, can be used for full day kindergarten? Or is it a specific strategy? Like, what does that mean?
Oh, no, I haven't seen the final form yet.
Okay, and then furthermore, like, we operate our district as a district. So some of our schools may have C's. Ideally, they'd all be A's, but how does that work for our district then? We have schools at different levels. This is not just taking into consideration our district rating. This is specifically schools, correct?
That's how I rate it. Yeah. So I don't have much more detail than this, so I don't know if that provision has a no supplant clause, if there has to be additional spending. I don't know any of that kind of stuff yet, but this is what we know today. A little bit of new money for unrestricted capital outlay, $200,000, and that would bring our allocation to about $920,000. No new soft capital, and as of now, it's believed that the increased bonding capacity is not up for a vote at this point, and looks like it's going to fail. Again, that all could change. The qualifying tax rate has been raised for next year, and that's qualifying tax rate is the ratio of our M&O budget that is paid by state equalization versus our local ratepayers. So if the QTR is increased, so will be increased tax bills in our district. So that's something just be aware of and be ready for. And when we adopt a budget, I'll have some more specific kind of graphics to show what exactly that would mean.
Mr. Walmer, is that something that's happened before as well, where the QTR has changed?
It's changed a little bit, but this one's pretty significant. I calculated that out. I took our current year worksheet that we figured out how much our ratepayers are going to have to pay, and I substituted this qualifying tax rate for the one that was there before, and it was about another $1 million. This year we got $8-point-some million from our local property owners. And if I substituted this tax rate, it jumped by about $1 million to 9-something.
So when people pay a higher property tax next year, it's not, and they see Creighton Elementary School District and they see higher property taxes, and they send us all emails saying, why don't you raise our property taxes and why don't you borrow more money? That doesn't necessarily mean that we are going to be getting more money into our district's budget, is that correct?
It absolutely means we're not going to get more from the district's budget. It means state support is going to be less, and therefore local support will be increased. For 13-14 now, the last 2 years we've had a rule that we could calculate our override amount as though the state still supported full-day kindergarten, which means we didn't have to half our kindergarten count in calculating our override. We get that again for 12-13, but that rule sunsets after that year, as does the 1% sales tax that's currently in effect. So the cost of the override provision will be about $175,000. Don't really know the other one because don't know how. There's just too many directions that could go with that. I mean, it's not certain that reductions would be to schools, though likely they might be. It's hard to say if it would replace. So I didn't really present any possible scenarios there. And that's it.
Just want to remind everyone, this is a public hearing on our budget. If there's anyone that has a question from the public, this would be the opportunity. Okay, seeing no questions, we will adjourn and we can meet in 3 minutes for our regular board meeting.